Yeah. So if you see, these are the many, these are the types of asynchronous process. One is future, the other is batch, the other is queuable, and the final one is scheduled. Okay. Future methods are nothing but all the asynchronous process will always have extended governor limits. Okay. The total number of queries will be different. The total transaction time, the epic CPU time is 60,000 milliseconds. Okay. Up to that, it can execute. You can have, you can perform multiple DMLs. All the governor limits are extended here. Okay. So basically, future methods are for, if you see here, user efficiency, scalability, higher limitations. Yeah. So these are all few examples or the features of asynchronous process. I'm sending you this. So basically, future methods are nothing but a method. It's not a separate class, but a method, okay, which we will annotate with at future, okay. And then what will happen is whenever we do some asynchronous process, okay, it will not execute instantly, but it will go to a particular job queue and it will wait for Salesforce server to execute it. Okay. The reason is asynchronous needs extended time limits, extended governor limits, right? So it will go on sit in Epic's job. If you type Epic job in your quick find, you will be able to see the list of asynchronous process which are all waiting to be executed. Okay. Whenever Salesforce has processing capacity or the CPU availability, then that particular task will be picked and it will start executing in the system. Okay. So here it says monitor the status of all Epic jobs optionally and about those jobs which are all in progress. Okay. What it will do is generally you won't see the results instantly like in synchronous transaction. Okay. Uh, is it clear so far?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So future methods are nothing but you can annotate a method called future. Okay. At future. And then what will happen is it will whenever that method is being invoked, automatically that method will be fetched out of the current transaction and will go to job queue. Okay. From Apex job queue, it will execute on its own time. The result will be updated whenever that particular future method's execution is completed. Okay. You can perform n number of things there. Okay. But the common scenarios of using at future is if you need extended time, you can go for it. If you want to make a call out, you can do it. If you want to, there are few common problems with Salesforce, like if you try to perform DML operations of transactional object and non-transactional object. For example, um, if you try to do a user object insertion along with other custom object insertion on the same transaction, you will face an error called mixed DML exception. Okay. For such scenarios, we will fetch only the user insertion in a future method so that both the insertion or updation will not happen in the same transaction. Okay. For such small implementation, we go for at future methods. Okay. Batch Apex is nothing but if you want to process large number of data and if it needs to be processed for longer time, then we go for batch Apex. Okay, let's say you have 50,000 records. Okay, you can create a batch Apex and you can start executing it. Okay, how it will execute is it will execute in batches. Okay, the default batch size is 200 records. Okay, you can set from 1 to 200, that doesn't matter. Okay, every batch, let's say you are processing 100 records. Okay, You can set a batch size, you can pass all the records, okay? Whereas you can set a batch size of 10, which means the method will execute 10 times for each 10 records, okay? So obviously every execute method will get higher limitations, okay? Every time the execute is getting called, when the first 10 records are done, when the next set of 10 records are coming inside, at that time, the system will get, the governor limits will be reset for each batch execution. First 10, once a transaction is completed, for the next 10, the governor limits will reset and it will start from scratch again. Okay, that is called batch apex. Okay, queuable apex is nothing but it is similar to future. Okay, but in future methods you cannot invoke another future method. Okay, if you do that, you will get errors or exceptions in the system saying that you cannot chain the processes. Okay, but what if you need to do chaining of processes? Yeah. So for that purpose, queuable interface was introduced. Okay. Then there are certain limitations of future methods, which we'll see in the coming sessions. Yeah. So to overcome such limitations, Salesforce has introduced queuable interface. Yeah.
So can you please come again on the queuable process? Like, when you say chaining, so can you give me a real-time example on how it works?
Okay. For example, there is one queuable interface which is inserting account and contacts. Okay. What if there is one more queuable interface which needs to insert opportunities and opportunity line items, etc. Okay. And once these accounts and contacts are inserted, then we need to call that class the next queuable interface, which is going to insert opportunities in the system. Okay. For such scenarios, okay, we can call, once the processing of the current queuable is done, we can directly invoke the next queuable interface from the same class itself. Like I can call another queuable interface. That is called chaining.
Okay. Can I assume as like dependent, queues? Once this is done, we need to perform the next one kind of thing.
Or you can call another queue which is completely independent of it. Okay.
Oh,
Basically, in future method, if you try to call any future, it will fail. Okay, it will say that it's not supported at any cost. Okay, but here you can call it. Similarly, batch also supports chaining. Okay, I can call another batch inside one batch. Yeah, we will see how.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then scheduled apex is another asynchronous method. It's basically you can schedule a class to run at a specific time. I think we have seen this in scheduled flows. You remember? We set a date and time, and then on that time, automatically that particular flow will be called. Similarly, we schedule a particular apex class, and then on that particular time, that particular class will be called without any human intervention. That is called scheduled apex. Okay. So the primary purpose of working with asynchronous process is to have extended governor limits. Yeah. Clear so far?